You're looking at a 1 year Bitcoin graph. And this time last year, last summer, July, August, and September of 2016, Bitcoin wasn't doing much of anything. This is all this stuff right here. It really is just kind of just coming and going, bouncing around 500 and 600, and nothing much changed until we get into October 2016. And still then, not a lot changed. It got over 600, and it never returned back to the 500s. And then on the final days of October, it reached 700, which was very good news to long-term investors and who were finally looking for some kind of move in the market. In November, Bitcoin stayed over 700 and just kind of hung out and didn't do much of anything. So let's look for November here. November 7th, it's at $712, and through the month it gets up to, even by the end of the month, it's still only at $728. So you still get no decent moves. It was just kind of a boring month. And everything changed in December. The month, 5 days before Christmas, on December 20th, Bitcoin reached $800. And let's see if we can find that jump here. December 6th, right here. These two jumps right here, and we're looking at $894 on December 26th. So it started on the 20th, and it just kept going through the 26th, and the day after Christmas, the high that day was above $1,000, and the low that day, we're not going to find the exact day here. 26. Actually, we did. The high was $1,003, and the low was $893, and it closed at $997. Very close to that $1,000 mark. On the last day, New Year's Eve, it closed at $970. So we're going into January looking good, and on January 2nd, 2017, Bitcoin hit that $1,000 mark. And on January 5th, it peaked at $1,069. And then it would hit its first real bubble since. Let's go to the all-time map and see exactly when this bubble was. Appears to be November 2013, where it reached a high of $1,165. And then we get a big crash down to $757, and then another big crash down to $543, and then another one all the way down to a bottom out of $445 in a matter of, so we're looking at April, from October or November 2013 to April 2014, it just Bitcoin did nothing but fall and fall and fall. It just wasn't looking good for the Bitcoin world, and we didn't actually reach great closing numbers until April, 4 years later, April 2017, 3 years later. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here, so let's go back. In January, we peaked at $1,069, and then we hit a bubble. In January 2017, we got to get out back to the 1 year map. It would fall and keep steadily falling to $801 on January 12th. And we're going to see if we can find that. This is the fall right here. It eventually bottomed out at $822. I said 801, but that's close enough. And then you see a steady rise right here, and it began rising at the end of January, and it would continue that steady rise through February. And on February 2nd, Bitcoin was back over $1,000, and it would continue to slow, steady rise. And on February 20th, it would reach $1,083. That was higher. Well, let's go look at it. I don't want to say anything that's not accurate at this point. We're looking for February 20th. And that's it right there. It would close at $1,179. And that was higher than that original bubble way back in 2013 November. So this is an all-time high to this date, February 20th. On the last day of February, it would reach $1,200. And in March was a rocky, discouraging month for investors. Things started great, and we almost reached $1,300, but after the first week, it dropped back down to 11 in the 1100s. And it started to recover, but after the second week, it dropped again to $1,000. And again, it started to recover after the third week, but it fell again to $900. So you can see each time it falls further down. And with another recovery on the last few days, it finally got back up over that $1,000 mark at the end of March. So March began at around $1,200 and ended at $1,000. So nobody got anywhere. If anything, they lost money in March. In April, there were no big rises or falls. It was just a slow, steady, continuous rise through the 1300s, and by the last day of the month, Bitcoin was knocking on the door of $1,400. So it was just every day there was a tiny bit more. Bitcoin was worth a tiny bit more than it was the day before. Just a slow, steady rise through April, which starts right here and just kind of gets right there. Just slow, steady, tiny little candles there, as you can see. May was in that absolutely incredible month, the best month ever for Bitcoin. It is just a super incredible month, and you can see it right here on this chart. Yeah, well, my computer wants play games with me. All these green candles here, nothing but green, no red. Um, that's the wonderful month of May. Just super, and we're going to go over it right now. The month started day one. It was at $1,400, and then it just began taking off on May 10th. It reached 1,000, almost $1,800. And at this point, we had a brief setback, but it didn't last long at all. And it started to take off again, and on May 25th, it had reached an incredible $2,500. So we're starting at $1,400, and here we are at $2,500. And then we would experience the biggest setback and crash to date. It would fall, for this 1 year period, it would fall back to $2,100 from $2,500. So there we get the peak at $2,500, and then a quick fall down to $2,100. But then it was rebounding again, and on the last day of the month, it had climbed back up to $2,300. So that was May. Overall, huge gains for anybody that was investing. Was having a wonderful month until the very end. And in June was the rockiest month in Bitcoin history. Another quick rise, way up to over $3,000. And you can see it right here. $3,018.54. That was Bitcoin's peak week right there. Highest ever in history. And to this date, I'm recording this on July 26th and 2017, and we have not we came close right here, but we've not reached that record breaker. But then, once again, you see the red candle right next to it, and a big crash. So there's the bubble, and there's the crash. But it kept crashing, but only to a point. It got all the way down to the 1900s. $1,938. Wow. And that was at 3,000. Not what was it? Not even a month ago. So you had July 10th. It bottoms out at 1938, and June 5th, it was reaching 3,018. So if you got in right there thinking it was going to go higher, you lost your booty. If you bowed anywhere around July 10th. If that happened to you, if that happened to anybody out there, God bless you, man. Try again, Maybe this ain't your thing. I don't know. After 610, you can see it falls and falls and falls. It gets down to 1900. July, or that was May, and then June, and then the big fall, and then the bounce back in July. So it fell from June 10th. It fell all the way down to 19, but then we have a bounce back on July 7th, the week of July 17th. And we get back up to $2,762. That's pretty strong there, buddy. That's almost reaching that $3,000 mark, but then again, we get a fall. This map is updating, so give it a second. There we go. Then again, a fall. Now we're back down to currently today. Well, that's not today. Right now we're sitting. Here's the live number. I don't know if you can see it on your camera. I might have that cut off, but it's at $2,555. and 57 cents. So we're floating right around $2,500. So that's where we sit. Next month I'm going to do another map and see what happened through July. Another one-year map, and we're going to go way back to August 2016 and explain this all over again, all the way through to June. So peace, guys. If you want to get in, I'd recommend getting in after August 2nd, because there's going to be some changes in the whole system. There's a lot going on right now. Maybe a couple of weeks after, maybe mid-August, end of August would probably be a good time to get in if you're thinking about getting in. Or if not, if you're just interested in this, well, that was the last year. Crazy year in Bitcoin. Peace, y'all.